once you've taken that life, you can't give it back. Helen was coming home from work on the 9th of February 1988. She'd asked for her meal to be ready. She'd be home between 5:15 and 5:30, and she was always very punctual. But it was a horrendous night with 90 miles an hour gale force winds. I was convinced that she may have been laying injured somewhere, or she could have been in a hospital and they had no identification as to who she was. When she hadn't arrived by 8 o'clock, I rang the police every hour, on the hour, right through the night, until in the end they sent a police officer out. I thought, of course, they were bringing Helen home. I thought they'd found her. And I was very relieved about that. But when they came in, they just wanted to ask me more questions. And I knew something serious had happened, but never in my worst nightmares did I ever dream that my daughter would never be coming home again. And in fact, it was something I refused to believe until in the end, a local man who owned a pub was questioned and held, and within less than 48 hours of him being brought into the station, he was charged with Helen's murder.
Oh, Johnny went over to Ellesmere to get some friends for his aunt's birthday, and he never returned, and 8 lads kicked him to death on the field. He was just lying there like all blood all around his face. It wasn't the same brother that I never knew. He was completely different. It wasn't our Johnny that I knew, and I couldn't believe it. I kept saying, that's not our Johnny, that's not our Johnny. He was only 15 when he died.
People think a word doesn't hurt. When Anthony was at the bus stop, it started with a word and it ended up with a murder, which has stained our society, which has stained our city, brought shame on our city. And that's why I can't run away. I've got to stay here and try my best to do what I can, because it's my hope to make sure that I can educate as much as I can using Anthony's story to eradicate some of this terrible evil that's around us, that's ruining lives. It is not right. It shouldn't be happening.
If you are convicted of a first-degree murder, you automatically receive a life sentence.
I've got no headstone, I've got no place to go. We still go out searching for Helen. So I decided, well, this man may be able to prevent me from giving her a burial place, but he cannot prevent me from having something within the churchyard as a memorial to Helen. That's helped me enormously, and for me it's a place where I can go and take flowers and put plants and remember Helen. I walk through fields, ditches, drains, and I just look to see anywhere where most normal people wouldn't want to go, that maybe there's some clue there. Maybe it's in a place like that Helen's remains will be found. Obviously, I don't feel I can move away until Helen's been found. Sometimes when I go to the top of Billinge Hill, it's because I can overlook everywhere and think, well, she's got to be somewhere within where the eye can see. So in a way, that's all Helen's grave to me, all that the eye can see.
Anthony was born and raised in Britain. I've got happy memories there, which no one could take away from me. Unfortunately, the bad happened, but if I run away, who will make a stand against the bad things that's happening around? I want people to remember Anthony, and in so doing, I'm trying to do good to make sure now the family doesn't sit where we're sitting. Because if I go away, who will do it? And who will remind them of this terrible tragedy? So unfortunately, it rests on my shoulder. I like my home, I love my street, I love the people, I love my neighbours. And I've got happy memories, and I'm not ready to walk away from that.
On average, every week, at least one child is killed at the hands of another person.
This is our Johnny here, and when he was in school. This is Johnny's field. It was lovely where we decorated with the little fence, flowers. Every time my brother put your flowers on or a gate, or a little fence around it, they know where he was dead. They were gone off it and they were kicked around the field. So when we go back, we tie them onto the fence. We had Johnny's name across the ribbon along the fence, and that got teared down. It's just like a bit of ribbon left there now. That's how we know that where Johnny died was where the ribbon was. Just all the flowers. It was lovely where we all fixed it, but it was no good because it's all messed up now.
It is estimated that 1 in 3 killings are the result of being stabbed.
I think about him graduating and his children I'll never see. They're wondering what he could be, what he should be doing now. So 6 years on, it still hurts. And I suppose it will hurt for the rest of my life.
I did believe in the death penalty at the time when my daughter was a little baby and the Moors murders happened. However, when Helen was taken from me, when I knew she wasn't coming home ever again, I don't know why, but the first thing that come into me is we can never have a death penalty, because if it's wrong of him to take my daughter's life, then it's wrong of the state to take his life. Once you've taken that life, you can't give it back.
It's just like a hole missing in my heart and never will be closed up, because he's always a part of us. Johnny as a person is kind, sweet. Life goes on, but I never ever will forget him. He's always very, very good brother, and he's a very close brother to me. Just don't call racist names, because it's not right and it's not fair. And then if like you can call a name and then it can go serious and you can be lying in a field like my brother did, killed for no reason at all, just coming out to go and getting the train home, and he got killed for being a traveller. He never even opened his mouth. It's just the lads was being very racist to him, calling them gypsies and that. He just tried to walk on, but it was no good. They followed him and kicked him to death. And now look where I'm left today, no brother. And he was the best part of my life.
Most victims know their killer.
What happened to Anthony is a tragedy, and it's down to every one of us to make sure that never happens again, because it's time we should be moving on.
What happened to Johnny shouldn't happen to no one else. I miss him gone. He's my eldest brother, and I'd do anything to get him back. And I tried my best to get justice, but I couldn't get justice. And I still fight from this day forward to get justice for him.
The response from the general public was so overwhelming, because they were the ones who inspired us to do it, because they kept saying, what are you going to do about Anthony? And they encouraged me to start a foundation, so we started it in our living room. I often said to people, it was born from grief. To make change is for the better.
How I come to be involved with Sam Merseyside was I found out when one of their group meetings was. John and I went along to it. I thought I'd just go once to see, and when we came away, we just felt that these people needed a lot of help. And so we've ended up, what was just going to be a one-off visit, we've ended up that 16 years on, we're still there helping.